Hi guys, it's Erin, and I know it's been a long time, which is why I'm doing a voiceover for this. Just say I was sick, and then there was, just lots of other things going on, and, my birthday and that kind of stuff. So I actually have been doing things, and if you want to see what I'm doing live and for all of July, go ahead and follow me on Instagram or check out my blog because you'll be seeing that daily. But here I have an actual video for you, and I'm making a mixed media canvas with a bunch of my stencils, layering stencils and, stencils that I created myself and all of this. And here I'm covering up part of the wood grain to make the girl stand out so that the girl is just wood grain and that everything around her isn't. And this is just masking, or not masking, what is it? Modeling paste. And through the stencils as roughly as I can get. You saw me making peaks on that other stuff. And I'm just making sure that the girl's silhouette is completely filled out. And then I'm going to build flowers from, this is one of the big Prima flowers that I bought, and then I have a bunch of these little ones too. The paper ones performed a little bit differently than this big yellow one here. The yellow one took the color and just fine, but the paper ones, I suggest next time, if I do this or if you do this, I suggest covering the, the paper flowers with all gel medium instead of just, gluing them on. What I'm using here to glue them on is 3D gel. And the problem is paper takes both gesso and paint differently than, something that's coated like this, this weirdly textured yellow flower here. So when I do end up spraying it, also with these white flowers, it gives a different effect. And if you're looking for the exact same effect, it doesn't work. So it's something to keep in mind. But basically what I did was when Prima, before they closed their warehouse, they had this warehouse sale where everything was $1. And so I bought like $130 worth of stuff. Because I knew that I would eventually use it and I would have stuff like this. And what I'm doing here is I'm using Prima Art Stones to build a center of this flower. So I'm putting 3D gel in there and then I'm crushing the art stones into it. First the large art stones, so you get the nice big round, the big round balls, kind of like you would see in the center of like a daisy or something. And then this one is the little tiny ones, which are more similar to micro beads, but they also give a great texture. So I try to combine them as much as I can. You'll see I'm going to add them in, these random places here. First the big ones, and then the little ones. And when I've seen other people use them, they mix them up in, a bigger, like, just regular fluid gel medium. And, they mix it up in a little cup, and then they kind of paste it on. But I find this works too. So it's kind of just both ways you can do it. You do end up getting the stones on your fingers and stuff, but it's still fun, and it's interesting to see in the next step what adheres, how it adheres, and how stuff tends to move, because the stones aren't clay. They're not heavy. They're like I don't even know what they are. They're not even that stuff that you put in potting soil, those weird little foamy bits. They're not even those. I don't really know how to explain it other than it's almost like aerated cement. It's really, really light. And then the tiny ones are just, little balls of it. It's so small. But here I'm going to cover the entire thing in gesso. I just put a bunch of gesso in the center. And then I'm going to cover all, everything that's not already white. Obviously, the modeling paste is already white. It doesn't need to be white. But I'm going to make the flowers that are yellow. I'm going to make the yellow flower that's white. All of that, I'm just going to make it white. And I'm just showing you that gesso kind of gets everywhere. But a lot goes a long way. And so here it is covered after that, or colored. Yeah. I'm spraying India ink with a bit of water. So this is P.H. Martin's India ink. And a little bit of water in there. I'm sorry for the shaking, but I'm actually holding the camera while I'm spraying, so that's why you get this weird angle. But this is the only way I could figure out how to film this, because obviously I'm outside in my yard, and I just propped this up because I don't want to spray in my space. It's too close to too much white and, all my other items and everything. So I'm just spraying as much as I can. I'm getting as many drips as I can. You see that it's propped up so that everything drips. And I'm just basically working until the bottles are empty. And now you can see the actual bottles of the P.H. Martin's India ink. India ink is good because while you can mix it with water and it can move like watercolor, it won't move once you're done. So once this dries, it's not going anywhere. I can't re-wet it. It is there forever. And that's what I wanted. This is why I'm not using dilutions or something, because if I want to add on another layer or just wet one spot and not wet the rest of it or anything like that, I'm going to have a problem. And I also found that on canvases, dilutions, it does want to be sealed, but it can't be. There's even with the airbrush medium, it doesn't seal the canvases. And I also believe it does not have a light fast rating, where the P.H. Martin's India ink is, it's not exceptionally light fast, but it does have a rating. So that's the big differences there. And you can see I'm also using a different blue. I used the teal at first, but now I'm using a real blue to get the contrast in there. And you can start, in real life, you can sort of see the girl. I'm trying to stay away from her silhouette so that she stands out more, which is why she's so light there. And right here you're going to see I'm going to spatter with the Black Dilutions paint. And I forgot that on my last canvas what I liked was I splattered with all of the colors I used, so it's only going to get the black splatters. So, you know, that happens. But I decided that since the girl was still sort of hard to see, I would paint her silhouette. So you can see the texture of her, you know, her wood grain texture still. It's not as vibrant as it was before she was painted, but it's still, she makes a bigger statement, which is, you know, really the whole point of the canvas. So, other than to use flowers, because I just wanted to use up some flowers and make some. But I like how the flowers turned out. They turned out different in the places that got gesso and the places that didn't. So like I said, if you're going to do it, make sure that the gesso is evenly coated over all of the flower, because paper versus paper-coated gesso absorbs paint differently. So yeah, I got different textures than I necessarily wanted, but you know, it's called experimentation. That's how art goes. And you can see here that I took it outside and I just splattered it with paint, and that's the finished canvas. So thank you for watching.